Hello everyone, this is Miguel Greenberg, and today I want to show you a very cool trick that I hope will be useful to you while you develop your Flask applications. Often while we are working on our applications, we would like to access the application from a different device. Best example is from your phone. You want to see how it looks on the phone. Maybe you want to share the application with a friend and get feedback. And the tool that a lot of people use to share an application that's running locally, publicly, is called Ngrok. So what I'm going to show you today is a simplified workflow for using Ngrok to share your application publicly using a public URL. So the key to do this is to use the Pyngrok package, which is the Python wrapper for the tool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate how this works. So I'm going to use it on my Flask Mega Tutorial application. So I'm going to start by installing Pyngrok. And the nice thing about this package is that it brings the Ngrok tool itself, so you don't have to download Ngrok separately. All you need to do is install Pyngrok, and the first time you use it, the Ngrok client will be downloaded for you. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do this. So first I'm going to do the most common one, which is not the most convenient. But you will see, if you've never used Ngrok, you will understand how this works very easily. So I'm going to start by running my application. So I'm going to say Flask run, and now we have the application running locally on the port 5000, same as always. So now I'm going to open a second terminal window, and on this second terminal, I'm going to start by activating the virtual environment, and I'm going to run Ngrok to create a tunnel into my application that's running here. So I'm going to say Ngrok HTTP 5000, because this is the first time that I'm running Ngrok. Pyngrok is going to download the client, and then as soon as it finishes, it starts the tool. And this is the Ngrok output, and here you can see the URL. So this is a public URL. So Ngrok is listening on this URL for requests, and anytime it gets a request, it sends it straight into our application running locally. So now I can go here and I can use either one of the two, the HTTP or the HTTPS. I go to this URL and I get my application, and you can do this on a phone or anywhere in the world, and you will have a way to expose your application to anyone who knows this URL, which, by the way, it's temporary. As soon as I end this Ngrok process, that URL is going to go away. So this is the normal way that most people do this, and what I find inconvenient is that you need to maintain two windows, right? You have to run your application in a window, and then on a separate terminal window you have to run Ngrok. So what I'm going to show you next is a way to integrate Ngrok with your Flask application. So we are going to use the Python access into Ngrok to create this tunnel using Python code. And we're going to put that in the same application. So I'm going to stop Ngrok and exit this window for now, and then close my my Python application. And in my main Python script for the application, I'm going to create a, let's call it start Ngrok. So this is going to be a function that does the same thing that I just did from the command line. So I'm going to import from Pyngrok, I'm going to import the Ngrok module, and here I can say Ngrok connect and then pass the port number, and this achieves the same thing that I achieved with the CLI command. So the tunnel will be established, and Ngrok connect will return the public URL from this function. So what I can do now is I can print this URL, and then I can share it, send it to my phone, or whatever else I want to do. So I can say tunnel URL and then print it. So I'm probably not always going to want to do this, so I'm going to put an option in my configuration to enable this or not. So what I can say is if app.config start ngrok, and only if this option is true, then I'm going to call the function. And this is how we are going to get the tunnel set up. So let's create this start ngrok option in the configuration. So start ngrok, like most other things here, I'm going to use an environment variable. So I'm going to import the value of an environment variable to set this option. So it's going to be called the same, and any value that is set. So if it's not none, I'm going to assume that the option is set, and this is how I'm going to set the tunnel. So let's see. If I say Flask run, this is going to run normally. Nothing will happen because the option is not set. Now, if I say start ngrok 1 and run with this option set, then here I have my tunnel. It was created on the fly, and here let's reset this, and now if I go to this URL, I'm connected. So for as long as I keep this process open, this is going to be available, and I can access it from anywhere in the world. So this is great. I'm going to show you one more variation, because here I'm running in normal mode. I don't have debug mode enabled, and I don't have the reloader in particular. When you use the reloader, Flask starts two processes. The parent process monitors your files, it watches all the files, and then it starts a child process that actually runs the server. So what we want here is we want the tunnel to be set up on the parent process, the one that watches files, because we want any change in the source code that triggers a reload, we want to keep the same tunnel open. Every time the tunnel is closed and reopened, you get a different URL. So we want that URL to stay the same. So we have to put it on the main or parent process, the one that watches the files. So to do that, what I'm going to do in the configuration, I'm going to expand this set. I want start ngrok to never be set on the child process, and then on the parent process I want it to be set when the environment variable is set. So for this I can use another environment variable that Flask sets, or more exactly Werkzeug. That's called Werkzeug run main. So when this variable is set to true, to the string true, like this, we are in the child process. So if it's not true, then we are in the parent process. So this is going to prevent us from ever starting a tunnel on the child process. So let's save this, and then in the Flask env, I'm going to set up I'm going to set my environment to development so that I get debug mode and the reloader all enabled. So now if I say if I run Flask run with the ngrok variable set, I get my tunnel. Let's make sure that this is working, and it is. So now I'm going to open a second terminal window just to see if the reloader continues to, it keeps the tunnel open. So I'm going to open any file, and I'm just going to introduce a change. You can see here that the change was detected. The reloader restarted the child process with the server, and this continues to work. So now you can leave this window open for a long time, up to 8 hours, which is the time that the Ngrok URL is valid. So for the next 8 hours, you can leave this open, and anytime you make a change in the source code, the application will reload, and you will continue to use the same Ngrok URL for your application. So this is it. I hope this was useful. I am very happy that I discovered this Pyngrok package recently. I didn't know about it until recently, and I have been using Ngrok on its own as a standalone tool for a long time. So this is a very nice improvement to my workflow, and I hope it will be for you as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.